Ciao Milan,
Ciao.
how are you today?
Good, good. It's beautiful here in Palermo.
Right, 31 degree, 11th of October.
Oof.
Right, amazing. So introduce yourself in a few sentences.
Okay, my name is Milan. I started an angel club in Singapore in Southeast Asia, which has become, I believe, now the largest angel club with over 120 deals, almost 50 million in assets administered under our umbrella. We essentially act as a technologically enabled corporate secretary, if you will, and essentially help angels bundle together their money in SPVs and invest into rising startups in Southeast Asia.
Why you are here today in Palermo?
Well, so I've been a judge before at Startup World Congress in Mongolia, and so I was invited again. And I think that emerging markets in general for me is a very interesting space. I think, you know, mature markets like the US, Europe, China, you have very large players. It's a completely different game. We understand through Southeast Asia that there's something about emerging markets where if you go deep and you understand the way that the market dynamics work, you really can still have firstly a big impact because many categories have not yet been fully established, and secondly, you can of course also meet and invest with the greatest people in the region. So I'm here to find out more and get my hands dirty a little bit and start to understand how this works in the Mediterranean.
So what do you think so far about Mediterranean ecosystem, like startups ecosystem?
Well, I mean, the thing is, culturally, I'm Southern German, and okay. my mother is of slightly Eastern European descent. So for me, this feels quite familiar in a funny way, and I really enjoy the people so far. I'm still a little bit high level on the categories and the industry itself, but looking forward to learn more today.
So, how do you think like Mediterranean startup can go global?
That's a good question. I think it probably translates well to any startup in a developing country. What is the question for them to be able to go global? And I think it's a difficult question, and it's really about it's really probably about the business model and the global market in general. So for example, if you're a ride-sharing company or the e-scooter, the Bird, yeah. I just came here with the Bird scooter in Palermo. This generally will be a more localized business, right? Because you have a lot of local regulation, etc. So if you have physical infrastructure involved in your business model, it's going to be a lot harder. You're going to need a lot more funding. And of course, that's also possible. There are some amazing companies that have built products with physical infrastructure out of places that you may not imagine. However, I think that probably pure technology, software is much easier to scale. So I think if you want to be a truly global company, I think one, you have to have significant funding, and you have to have talent and localized knowledge of the markets that you want to enter. Or two, if you can build a tool that's a B2C or B2B SaaS type of tool, that can be marketed with purely online marketing, then it can be a business that could be started anywhere. So like for example, Xero, the accounting software, was started in New Zealand, is now one of the largest accounting softwares in the world, right? Because it really doesn't matter that much. Although they also, obviously started with America and have a lot of infrastructure with bank integrations and so forth. But I think ultimately internationalization, I've been a founder myself 2 times around and have learned that internationalization isn't that easy. Right. So I think it's better to do it step by step. So if you, let's say for example, you start here in Italy, maybe then you should try also Germany or France and Spain, and then and before you go further, right? Yeah.
So what's your favorite food in Palermo?
Oh, that's difficult. Everything is so good. I do love pasta and I love seafood. Probably the seafood sashimi, the raw prawns.
Okay, yes. Amazing. Thank you, Milan.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.